Hi everyone, welcome back to my precious garden for this February garden tour. I hope you're all well and your gardens too. Everything is starting to come back. Today is a sunny day, but it has been raining a lot. I don't know how your gardens are doing with so much water. I know that in my case what helped a lot was mulching a lot. Like everywhere I walk there's some mulched barks and stems and stuff like this, and it helps, I believe, absorb this water that was pouring down. I can't show you, but I've seen signs of some insects waking up. Like there was this carpenter bee just today, this noon, and she went for my strawberry tree because it has some flowers. And a little after, I was putting some seeds from my seed pack for the birds, and then a huge bumblebee went for my pack because what do you know, on the pack there are some sunflowers drawings, and I guess this poor bumblebee was starving because it really tried to get something from this poor fake flower. While I'm gonna do this garden tour, I'm gonna try and show you any signs of that kind if they happen to come in my way during my filming. I'm gonna also put just here the video. You wouldn't believe me if I told you that a big bumblebee went on this false sunflower looking for food. Poor bumblebee. It must be very starving to go for a fake one. And it's not only the insects emerging, it's also the bulbs. So I'm going to show you some spring bulbs coming up and some signs of life everywhere and a few tips if I can. So let's get going. Before that, it's only February, but there are some flowers in the garden, so I'm gonna show you so it can maybe inspire you on what you can have in your garden at that time of year. As I believe I was saying in the January garden tour, the flower you can think about for winter flowering is of course hellebore, so I'm going to show you some. This is a yellow butterfly. Another winter flowering plant is primrose, and I have one that is only emerging, so lots of leaves. It's going to be very nice, but it's not even budding up yet. But I have one that I bought this winter, I guess, and I'm going to show you. This one is so cheerful, and I've put it on top of some bulb lasagna. So the root system isn't very thick, so there won't be trouble for the bulbs coming out. But really, it gives joy every time I pass by. During winter you also have some camellias that are flowering. It's the case of my camellia called Koto no Kaori. It is so cute and it flowers for quite a long time. It has started like maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks. I wonder if it wasn't, yeah, maybe in the last January garden tour I think it started, and it's still flowering its head off. Lots of birds, some spent flowers on the floor, on the ground, and a flower that is still there. Here in the back I have 3 camellias, and they have some buds, so I'm waiting for them. And since nature is waking up, you also have what you can consider as weed waking up, but there are some nice and not harmful ones that are flowering. I have lots of these ones everywhere, like mini suns everywhere, and they're not just cute, they really have a purpose. It's feeding the insects. And look at these, they're glowing. If you worry a bit about them being like invasive and so, they flower and then they just go dormant, so then other things in the garden come up. So for example, here I've planted a special project. It won't be in time for Valentine's Day, but I'll show you another time. I have some crocus coming up here, and we have these tiniest cuties, blue flowers, and this is their time to shine while we wait for bigger ones. There's also this one with very, very small flowers, but yeah, it provides food for insects. It's cute while we wait for bigger flowers, and then if you don't like them being there, then you just cut them off. This is my strawberry tree, and I guess it has some flowers because I've seen the carpenter be looking for something there. I'm gonna try and find some. Yeah, there's not much, but there's something there, some there. So it's an all seasons interest kind of big shrub, and it's not deciduous, so you still have some winter interest in the garden. Now it's time for me to talk about bulbs. I would be lying to say that everything has woken up or open up, but I'm going to show you there's a lot coming up, and it makes me happy, of course. So here's what a daffodil waking up looks like. Very sturdy, and around, I believe these are babies of gladioli that I dug out in autumn. I thought I had everything, but as you can see, I didn't. Here is the daffodil. Then here is an allium. This has been there, like the leaves have been out for a long time now, all winter, so it's not like spring waking up. But nearby we have a very small daffodil coming up. This is a sedum pot, which is an everything now pot, because I have some cuttings from a rose, Graham Thomas. Put your plant tags always. And also, I guess I've put some tulip bulbs. Some of them won't produce anything, like this one with just leaves, but this one, as you can see, will flower, I guess, because it's more advanced. like this one. I think this one will flower, but the baby around, it will be next year. So what I might do is, after these have finished their season, I'm gonna take them out, separate the babies, and try and put everything in the ground if I like the colors. And yeah, maybe the babies next year or the year after will bloom, but they need to be separated from the mature one. How cute it is to have some yellow flowers, now some blue ones, and I did nothing. All this came by themselves. But nearby we have some crocuses that are starting to flower, and guess what? These ones are yellow. So these ones have been a little bit munched on, but that's okay. And just nearby we have this beautiful bigger one. I think this could be the bar purple variety. So I know that during my first year's gardening I had really some trouble understanding which bulb was coming up, because first I didn't name tag them, so that was some mistake, and also I didn't know what they looked like. So the more years pass, the more you understand which foliage correspond to which bulb. But I'm gonna try and help. Sorry for the noise in the background if I can't edit it out. So yeah, I'm gonna try and show you and help you understand what you have coming up. So here is another tulip. Here is another kind of allium, like with a small flower head. And then here it's a crocus, like this one. These two are crocuses. And these are tulips. In this container I have 3 varieties of tulips. I have Pink Impression, Amazing Grace and Black Hero, and I know it because, you know. I also have some crocuses, but I can't see any sign yet, not sure. And I have an iris called George. About tulips, there are some varieties that are early, some are late, and some of the earlies are the botanical ones, and I've added a lot more, but I had some from the year before and they're already showing up quite a lot. Not flower buds yet, I guess. I'm gonna go and show you. So here they are, and you see this one has a very long foliage already, but no flowering stem yet. From the top of my head I can't remember the name. I think it's lilac something, so if I found the name I'll put it here. This is a primrose that I had from last year, and it wake up a few weeks ago. And this is the one I can't wait to see for the first time. It's called Primrose Ballerina Pink Champagne. I also have some hyacinth already in flower, because these were there last year. But the other ones are coming up too. There's one there, and quite a few here. And you can already see the flower head. Here you have a type 1 clematis. This one is almondy eye apple blossom, and I'm going to try and zoom in to show you the flower buds. About clematis, you have 3 types regarding pruning. This one you don't prune it now because otherwise you get rid of all the flowers. You have a second group, the flower beginning of spring, like May, June, and then they take a rest and they come back like in September, October. And these ones, they say that usually you take out all the spent flowers and maybe do some light pruning at that time, so after it flowered. And sometimes, like not every year, in February, March, you can take some old stems quite back, but it's not something that is mandatory. You just do the light prune after the flower. And for the last group, they flower like all summer long, almost. And these ones, at this time of year, February, March, you can prune them quite harsh. You can bring them back to like 30 centimeters or 40, 50 as you want, but quite low at a nice pair of buds, like really swelling. So I have one here that is from this third group. It's called Hagley Hybrid, and it flowers from June to October. Here we say June to August, but yeah, depends. So this one should be pruned back, and as you can see here down, there's nothing yet. Here it's starting, and here I have a really nice pair of buds. So I believe I'm gonna prune it back to there. Yeah, this is like 40 centimeters, and it's gonna be just nice at this height. One thing I'm gonna try and do with this poor tree, when there was this guy who went to prune it, I didn't know better, and he did quite a harsh one, and what you see is the result. An arborist would tell you this is bad. So I'm gonna try for the lower ones. I'm gonna take my ladder and everything and take like maximum 1/3 of the branches, and I'm gonna take out the ones that are much too vertical, like this one or this one. That's not how this tree is supposed to grow. So I'm gonna do it before they get too thick and that it's gonna be too much of a problem for the tree. I still don't have any signs on my hydrangea, not enough anyway, so this still has to wait. That's my Heptacodium Tianshan 7 Suns flower that is waking up nicely. I protected during the last frosts because it's young, so we'll see, but I'm quite happy with how it looks. Here is my baby Amelanchier. Very tiny, like 50 centimeters. But it is waking up. I'm not sure I'll have flowers at this stage this year, but we'll see. And nearby I have a baby tree in a pot. This one is the silk tree, Albizia in French. We'll see too. Here I have a Deutzia that is waking up. I can see it budding up everywhere for foliage. Some agapanthus weren't protected soon enough during the frost, so yeah, the foliage can tolerate some very light, like 0 Celsius temperatures, but this was too much. But I'm quite sure it's still alive because I've had this happen previous years. So I'm just gonna leave it and wait for signs of life. More of these little mauve purple flowers, so cute. about wildlife, I've made some few additions and I'm gonna show you. I had this bird box, but I've added the little plastic pikes that you can see, and also there and just on top there. And this is to prevent cats from trying to get too near to the bird box, and we'll see how it goes. And just here, with my late Christmas money, I've added a wildlife camera in front of my mini pond, but for now the only wild animal it got are some cats. Cats coming everywhere during the night. I wonder if it's precise enough to manage to detect small birds coming up. Maybe I need to move it, I don't know yet. During the warmer afternoons I can see some fishes in there waking up too, to find some food, and then I guess going back to sleep. Then there are the fruit trees, the dwarf ones. This is the pear, so that's a way for me to document where it was in January, February and so on. So that's the pear one. Here we have the peach that is so happy to be in the ground since autumn. Before it had been in a container for a few years and it really didn't like it. It didn't branch out a lot, and as you can see, all the red stems, these are all new from being in the ground. So this is a sign of happiness. And this is the plum tree, and it's not red, it's more brownish, but as you can see, lots of new growth too. And it's been underplanted with alliums there, but lots of spring bulbs around all of them, and it's starting, as you can see. And now let's talk roses. Last month I've pruned my roses, of course the ones that were planted in autumn, the new ones, they didn't get some pruning, and so they're the first ones showing me some signs of growth. This one is Mary Delaney. Behind there's some strawberries waking up too, but mostly you can see some new growth there on the top, and it looks quite happy. I had to prune one stem because it has been broken during the shipment, but other than that, it's all fresh. And this is my cherry tree. One thing I've learned since planting, so this one hasn't been done the correct way, is the graft point should be north facing, and this one is south facing. But the other ones, I've got it right. Near the crocus we have the new Scepter Dial. So all of these ones are David Austin's. So this one looks really nice and happy. And nearby we have the Poet's Wife. So Scepter Dial is a pale pink, and the Poet's Wife is a bright yellow, and it's supposed to be very fragrant. This is Abraham Darby. It's not new, so it has been pruned, but look at this, it has new growth. Same about Boscobel. They're smaller, but they're there too. This is a new one. This is Scarborough Fair. It's pale pink, open center, good for pollinators. And look, I have a crocus there too. And then here we have Vanessa Bell. Looking good. This is Penelope Lively. So this one isn't new, and I've seen something that I should prune back to is, do you see this bit of that stem with a hole in it? This is not good, so this is going to be cut back right there before this joint. And yeah, it's starting to bud up. Here is a new one. It's a pale yellow, beautiful, called Nijbeven. Sorry if it's not how to pronounce it. And it's all about green. And then nearby we have Olivia Rose, and I love the growth color on it. It's a mix of like brownish red and green. So nice. This one, a new one, it's Emma Bridgewater, and I'm a bit concerned about this part. So it looks like there's some dying back. I don't know if it didn't like the frost. I really don't understand. So I'm just gonna pop a mail to David Austin to ask them about this. About the Emma Bridgewater rose, yesterday I've seen a video from Ben the gardener Ben, and he was saying that he ranked this rose on the fragrance side of it at a 9 out of 10, and it's very rare, so it seems to be very enjoyable. As some of you know, I have some trouble with my sense of smell, so I really hope I'm gonna get something out of it. And near Emma Bridgewater there's Gabriel Oak. It looks mostly good, but it has like these stems looks like they've died back to the base where there's some growth. So I guess I need to cut them back. It's also the moment for your snowdrops to shine. Aren't these so cute? And I don't get how this tiniest bit of stem between the flower and the real thick stem is keeping it alive. And behind these I have some wildflowers, very tiny ones, and I'm happy leaving them there. I believe in this old pot are some old bulbs, but look at this cutie, how fresh it is. This is an iris, a dwarf one. So I guess all of these are irises and can't wait to see them bloom. And nearby, I'm not sure what I have. I was thinking maybe daffodils, but maybe it's something else for this one. And these ones I guess are muscaries. Of course there's no plant tag, but I'm gonna bet for muscaries, blue ones, and if that's what it is, I'm gonna put a plant tag, and anyway, whatever it is, when I see it, I'm gonna name it. Same for this one, same for all these unnamed ones. There are lots of different varieties of snowdrops, and some of them have thicker foliage and some of them are like thinner ones, and you have bigger ones, smaller ones. So this one is another variety called Galanthus nivalis, and I'm waiting for them. It's gonna be their first year. In another pot I believe I have bigger ones. So these ones, I'm not sure. I think they're snowdrops, but as you can see, this is huge for a snowdrop, but we'll see. I'm gonna keep you posted. These are daffodils that I took out last year, and I put in a pot to finish their season and forgot them behind something else, and I found them like 2 days ago. And here is a beautiful display of dwarf irises. I'm gonna try and find the name. And I guess the plant there is dead, but nonetheless we have a nice display. So yeah, I have them around another plant, and these are dwarf irises called Pauline, and I love the purple hue of this one. And this is the pot that I showed you recently with tulip bulbs that I forgot, called White Valley. There are 6 there, and I had a 7th one not looking that good, so this one went to doing it slowly just in front of this climbing rose called Strawberry Hill. In this pot there are some cuttings of a rose called clematises, not David Austin, and some baby oak trees, well, one, and this I guess would be some achillea if I'm lucky. Another variety of snowdrops. In this pot I have the dead foliage of a daylily, but today I saw some new growth, so it will be time soon to take this protective foliage out, and let's see the new one. I just realized I have my first pink violet flower. So the foliage, don't see, I guess it's this, but nearby I have a classic one, just there. I'm gonna zoom in. Here's a big clump with tiny purple cuties. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm getting the urge of cutting back the dead stems, the dead branches, but it's still not the time yet. I have to wait a bit. For example, where is it? There. These stems, I really want to take them out, but yeah, I'm still waiting a bit. Some of them I've cut them to the base and put them somewhere else just for the insects in them to finish their cycle. And yeah. For example, here we have an agastache. This one is a yellow one, and the new growth is all there. And I have this on top. But it's also a reminder, a clear reminder that there's something there if I don't see it in between the strawberries and the other things. Here I have something that I'm really happy that is coming back. This is called the Stoxia Levis Blue, near the hyacinth. Thank you to the old me for the name tag. And here, I'm not sure if this is something that is waking up. Here we have the penstemon, and this one, it's great because it kept its foliage during all fall and winter. But when it's gonna be the time, like maybe in 1 month, I'm gonna cut it back to like 10 centimeters. I'm gonna show you on another one. You're gonna clearly see the new growth. For example, on this one, so you have very long stems, and then you have very new and fresh coming from the base. So, and also there on the stems, I could cut just on top of these new shoots, and that would be just fine for this plant. A garden isn't always about all the successes and victories, it's also about the failures. And here, I'm not sure yet but I guess it's dead. It's gonna put the name on the screen. It's called citronnelle, I guess in French. And on the other side here I had something that wasn't doing well in the ground because it was too moist. This is a euphorbia, Ascot rainbow, I believe. I'm gonna turn the screen, and so when I put this up, it had foliage. Now it has nothing and no signs of new growth, but I'm still gonna wait a bit. But because I was thinking that it might be doing bad, I took some cuttings, and the cuttings are doing fine. I'm gonna show you them in just a minute. Here is another one like the one I have behind me. But I see some green there, so it's not like every bit of hope is gone. We'll see. See how good they're doing, these two? I'm glad I took cuttings. I took way too many cuttings, but sometimes it's better to do this. I also tried to do the Euphorbia Merlot nearby. I'm not sure if it's still working or not, we'll see. And up there's another one, another kind of Euphorbia and some weeds. But the Euphorbia is doing great. That's the thing you don't want to do. Put some cuttings in pots without draining holes. And I told myself, yeah, when I find time, I'm gonna put them in other pots. It's just to not lose them. And I still didn't do anything with them. Oh, I didn't realize, but they're not far from flowering for some of them. See? This is a flower bud. It doesn't look very different on the screen, but you can see something translucent, and that's where the flower is. This is one of the elderberry. I put in a container because it wasn't doing well in the ground. And look at all this new basil growth, plus the new growth everywhere on the stems, so it might do better there. Maybe it doesn't like clay soil. And of course, February is also the time where you start to sow. Some started in January, but I've just started. I'm gonna show you. Recently I received some bare roots from Farmer Gracie, and when you receive them, they need to go first in pots to get a better root system, although these that are called Asclepia, which is milkweed, they really had a great root system. So I have 5, which is far too many, but that was the minimum number. So they're all in pots, and in spring, late spring, they'll go in their places in the ground. So that's for one, and now to the seeds. So I tried to sort them out by putting them in different packs. So this is February, March, April, summer, and these one might go in kind of mini greenhouses outside. And for that I will be using something like this. I'm sure you've seen that on stories. And you just cut it half, not entirely, so you can open it, put some compost in there, your seeds, water, then close it, put some tape around it, and then this goes out without the lid, unless it's very cold and rainy. I also received some ranunculus corms, so they're in there. I'm gonna put the variety on the screen from the top of my head. It's Bianco Sfumato and Aviv Purple. And my first real seeds are cobia, purple ones. I have 5. There's a 6th pot, but it's empty. It's just to keep them in place. So yeah, these are the first ones. And this is the view on the front side, and as you can see, I got rid of this kind of palm tree bush that was sick, and it was complicated, and I didn't get to the roots yet, but maybe one day. At least now it's not there anymore, so that's good. And here we have the roses, the yellow flowers, the daffodils waiting up. Here I have another hellebore, and it seems it goes like white and purple. I didn't realize that, so that's great. I have a nice fern, and that's the cutting of Elizabeth. This one is doing fine. I'm not sure about this one. This one seems okay. And yeah, so here we have daffodils, alliums, and a few crocuses on the edge. And here there's another elderberry doing fine now that it's in a container. So weird. And here there's an abelia and some irises. I think it's called Germanica, I'm not sure. And this is one of the honeysuckle, and this one was hard pruned a few weeks ago, a few months, and it seems it's doing okay. There's a foliage bud there, and these parts, they're just continuing to grow, so fingers crossed. This clematis is Princess Arabelle, and it's another summer flowering one, so this one needs to be cut down quite back too. And I'm seeing some new green growth just there. Are there some buds elsewhere? I'm not sure, but that's quite low. That's like not even 20 centimeters, but if I don't see some bud swelling higher, that's where I'm gonna cut it. And this clematis is one from the second type that you're supposed to slightly cut back after the flowers have faded, but I'm not really sure what to do with this one right now. It seems that it has 2 stems. I can't go quite near to it because I know I have lots of bulbs there. I don't want to crush them, so we'll see. About this purple fountain grass, I was waiting for the frosty night to stop to try and cut it back, because I'm not sure if it's completely dead. There are most chances that it's dead, but I really need to cut it right back, because there are some spring bulbs everywhere around it. This is the day after. Sorry, my phone memory was full, so I finally decided to cut the purple fountain grass, and that's much better. And I'm seeing some green, so there's still hope. This is a salvia, and this one survived the frost, though this was from a cutting. And the mother plant, I protected it. This one, not really, and it's still doing fine, and the other one is fine. Although I know I have a friend a bit more outside of Bordeaux, and her plant really seems to have fried. So You just have to be careful. See, that's the frost. It's also a time of year where your Daphne would flower. Daphne is supposed to be a very fragrant plant. For the moment I don't get anything, but I was surprised because it really kept all its foliage this year, and when it was younger I did see the stems and everything, but I'm happy that I'm getting some winter interest with this one, and it seems to be happy here. This clematis, I don't have the name, so I'm not sure of the type. I know for sure it's not the first type, so it's either number 2 or number 3. And there are some buds coming. So, I'd say maybe number 3. I think, I don't know, because, well, what should I do? At least I have to cut back this flower head that I really like. But I don't know what to do when you're not sure. I believe yesterday I was cut talking about this clematis in the front yard. So what I'm thinking about is to leave it almost as it is, and then see when it flowers to detect from which group it is, number 2 or number 3, and then act accordingly next year. This is a quick overview of the garden in February. This is going to be the end of the video. I really enjoyed sharing it with you. Just to tell you now, the day I'm filming it, we are 35 days to spring, so I hope this will help you, motivate you, and put you a smile on your face knowing this, and that the days are getting longer and longer. I'm already really thankful, because for me what's the worst, it's when the sun sets at around 5, and now we are past sunset at 6, so it's more than enough for me. But I'm gonna take all the longest days that are coming, and the brighter days, not like this one, but they're coming. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.